For many Canadians, Christmas is not necessarily a religious holiday. It's a time to gather with family and friends, to exchange gifts, take some time off work, relax, and basically enjoy the cultural aspects of the holiday. You really don't have to be a Christian to enjoy or celebrate Christmas. But to Christians in Canada and Christians around the world, this is an important time for religious observation. In much of the world, however, Christians just don't have the luxury, they don't have the freedom to celebrate Christmas. That's because Christians around the world are being harassed, persecuted, imprisoned, and even killed just because they're Christian. According to a recent Pew Research study, Christians in 52% of the world's countries are discriminated against or mistreated in some way. The same study found that Christians are now the most persecuted religious group in the world. You barely ever hear that. Anyway, nowhere is this more evident than in the biblical homeland for Christians, the Middle East. Over the past century, millions of Christians have been killed and driven away by hostile governments and by aggressive insurgencies. It's estimated that between half and 2/3 of the Christian population has just disappeared from the Middle East. At the end of the First World War, Syria's Christian population made up about 30% of the country's total population. There was a vibrant Christian community, and they were safe and protected in Syria. Well, today the number of Christians in Syria has dropped from 30% down below 9%. And given the ongoing crisis in Syria, I wouldn't be surprised if the actual number today was much, much smaller. In neighboring Iraq, the Christian population likewise fell from 1.2 million people in just 1990, 25 years ago, to less than 200,000 today. The number of Christians in Iraq and Syria both continue to decline thanks to the ongoing genocide at the hands of ISIS. And yet, Canada's refugee program, which was specifically re-geared to help people from that part of the world, it also specifically avoids sponsoring persecuted religious minorities, including Christians. Just look at what Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had to say about it.
So my question, sir, is whether a Liberal government would prioritize ethnic and religious minorities.
Absolutely not.
It's unbelievable. Canada should be opening its doors to help persecuted Christians and to working to ensure that Christians around the world are safe and protected. Because the Islamic State is not the only radical Islamist group that's carrying out mass atrocities against Christians. Look at Lebanon. Lebanon was once a Christian country, but thanks to decades of war and radicalism, Lebanon's Christian population has fallen from 84% of the population in 1920 to below 40% today. Likewise in Egypt, the Coptic Christian community is routinely harassed. They may be relieved that the Muslim Brotherhood's short authoritarian rule is over, but Copts are still mistreated and threatened by Islamists in the region. Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon were all once countries that were safe for Christians, but sadly they're all moving towards the intolerance shown by other Islamist governments in places that basically ban Christianity altogether. There are attacks on churches, forced conversions, and executions. They've all become a daily reality in much of the region. It's an issue that deserves a lot more attention, especially during the Christmas season. Because, well, if nothing is done to stop the persecution and the harassment and the killing of Christians, it's possible that in our lifetime, there'll be no Christian churches left within 1,000 kilometers of Bethlehem. The destruction of diverse Christian communities across the Middle East is a crime against our civilization. It's a crime against humanity. And really, it's frankly an assault on all Christians. This Christmas, let us pray for the safety of Christians around the world, and let us do more to ensure the survival of the ancient Christian communities across the Middle East. For the Rebel.media, I'm Candice Malcolm. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I want to know what you think. So please leave a comment in the comment section below or click one of these links for more Rebel content.